Hey guys, it's Aiden. Taps ASMR. Tapping ASMR, please subscribe. I'm currently wearing an alien onesie, but we'll see how that goes throughout the video. So I have decided to read a little bit from Everything I Need to Know I Learned from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He was more than just a children's show television host. Mr. Rogers was the friend who helped us appreciate the good things in ourselves, in others, and in the world around us. As soon as he stepped through his front door to change into his cardigan and sneakers, we knew we would meet new people and discover new things. Revisit some of Mr. Rogers' greatest guidance that we learned alongside Daniel Tiger, X the Owl, King Friday, and more, including you are special, be generous with your gratitude, feed the fish, all kinds of feelings are okay, don't forget to play, and other caring thoughts. Everything I Need to Know I Learned from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And here is the neighborhood trolley. Written by Melissa Wagner, illustrations by Max Dalton. The little trolley going through the neighborhood. Contents. Introduction, page 6. You are special, 9. It's you I like, page 19. Be generous with your gratitude, page 31. Be a helper, page 43. Feed the fish, page 55. All kinds of feelings are okay, page 65. You've got to do it, page 77. Don't forget the fun, page 89. When you're wondering, you're learning, page 103. We are all neighbors, page 115. Sorry, the hood was getting in my way a bit. Introduction. Just a very cute photo on it. Some of my dearest childhood memories occurred in my grandmother's cozy living room, curled up on the floor in front of a 1970s style console television, watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I would observe my best adult friend change into a sweater and sneakers, play music and sing. He'd introduce me to talented people, show me how crayons and applesauce and wagons are made, and let me peek into a colorful world where no one is perfect, but everyone is accepted and appreciated. Then he'd tell me I was one of a kind and that people could like me just for being me. Revisiting the shows as an adult, I realized there is a depth and intention behind Mr. Rogers' neighborhood that I didn't notice as a child. Hidden in plain sight are displays of some of my most deep-held beliefs and the messages I want to share with my daughter. You have value, and so does every other person. So treat yourself and others with care and respect. People's differences should be acknowledged and welcomed. It's okay to talk about the things that make us feel bad. Don't get so busy that you stop recognizing beauty and learning about the real world. In this book, you'll find quotes and anecdotes taken directly from television visits with Mr. Rogers, his neighbors, and the familiar faces of the residents of the neighborhood of make-believe. Mr. Rogers was always focused on children, but his words are just as important and meaningful to adults. You are special. Everybody's special in this life. Everybody you meet has something special to give and receive. We are all special. Mr. Rogers told each one of us that not only are we special, but also that each of our neighbors is special too. These core messages go hand in hand. Each time he appeared on our television screens, his love for people shone through. With each interaction he had, whether with a child, a service worker, a famous musician, or a familiar neighborhood friend, he modeled appreciation for everyone's inherent worth. Everybody's different, and everybody's valuable. The world can be a better place because you were born into it. Valuing others. Mr. Rogers helped his neighbors recognize the goodness inside them. When Mr. McFeely arrived at Mr. Rogers' house, feeling sad after a delivery mishap, Mr. Rogers listened as Mr. McFeely shared his feelings. Then he assured Mr. McFeely that everyone makes mistakes and reminded him of how grateful he was to have him in his life. Did you ever have anybody hurt your feelings? Did anyone ever say anything to you that made you feel really, really small and not very lovable? That feels awful, doesn't it? But isn't it nice when somebody helps you feel good about who you are? I mean, if you look for it, you'll probably find something fine inside of everybody. It's very important to look inside yourself and find that loving part of you. That's the part that you must take good care of and never be mean to. Because that's the part of you that allows you to love your neighbor. And your neighbor is anyone you happen to be with at any time in your life. Appreciating the work that people do. Every one of us contributes something of value to the wider world, whether in visits or on the picture screen. Mr. Rogers took us on tours of factories and workshops to show how people make the things we use every day. He explained each step of the process, peppering his commentary with compliments and admiring words. This man surely works quickly and carefully, doesn't he? And she really knows her work. That showed his respect for people and their efforts. I like to think of all the different things people make in this world. You know, even when it looks like complicated machinery is doing a lot of the work, it's important to remember that people made those machines. We wouldn't have any machines to do work if there hadn't been people to think them up and make them in the first place. It's you I like. You are a very special person. There is only one just like you. There's never been anyone exactly like you in the history of the earth, and there will never be again. And people can like you just because you're you. You are lovable. Before he left us for the day, Mr. Rogers gave us the same kind of affirmation. You make each day a special day just by being you. And through these feelings of appreciation and acceptance, we could grow and learn, feeling comfortable enough to allow ourselves to make mistakes and take risks. We could believe that we are valuable and we are worthy, even when we fall short of our goals. You don't have to do anything sensational for people to love you. It's such a good feeling to know that people can love us even when we're not perfect. Lady Aberlin, I think you are just fine, exactly the way you are. Daniel, the way I look? Lady Aberlin, yes. Daniel, the way I talk? Lady Aberlin, yes. Daniel, the way I love? Lady Aberlin, especially that. Daniel, you don't think I'm a mistake? Lady Aberlin, you're the tiger I love the most in this whole universe. Daniel, oh thanks, Lady Aberlin. I love you too. What matters the most? Mr. Rogers encouraged us to value our inner selves. When Henrietta Pussycat found out that Grandpierre's beautiful granddaughter Colette would be visiting, Henrietta worried about her own place in the neighborhood. She put on a fancy dress, a fancy hat, and makeup, and would speak only French like Colette, even though her neighbors couldn't understand a word she said. Mr. Rogers explained how she felt. Henrietta thought that people wouldn't like her unless she got all dressed up in a fancy way. We've always liked Henrietta, no matter what she wore. He then sings, "It's you I like," reminding us that we too are loved for our essential selves rather than for our possessions and appearance. Our thoughts and our feelings, the way we treat each other. Sorry, I messed up. Our thoughts and our feelings, the way we treat other people, the way we love one another, that's what matters much more than what we look like. It's not so much what we have in this life that matters, it's what we do with what we have. The alphabet is fine, but it's what we do with it that matters most. Making words like friend and love, That's what really matters. Loving yourself. Mr. Rogers helped us appreciate our unique selves. When we feel comfortable with ourselves, we can talk about our feelings and make deeper connections with the people around us. Loving ourselves and valuing what is special in us can lead us to love and appreciate others. You can't love anybody else if you don't love yourself. Lady Elaine Fairchild. I am going to pause the book here and stop it at this little part in the book. Let me get bookmark. So I'm sorry for not uploading. It's been quite a hectic past few weeks. Emotionally and physically, I've been sick. Mainly physically, I was sick for about a whole week or two, and it was pretty serious. Thought I was gonna go to the hospital serious. Thought I had to get operation serious, but I dealt with it at home. I am gonna upload more. I am definitely going to make December all about Mr. Rogers. I have a whole bunch of books, different books on Mr. Rogers, and I would like to read them, or at least inserts from them. For all of this December, it's going to be all about Mr. Rogers. So I can't wait for you guys to continue on this journey with me. The Mr. Rogers journey. And I will see you all, guys. I will see all of you in my next video.